Hey there, guys. Welcome back. Adam here. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of everything we're trying to create here. Today, I am going to be sharing a little thought that's been on my heart. I've been kind of chewing on this for the last day or so, and I'm going to do my best to articulate it in a way that makes sense. But hopefully you will allow me to encourage you and maybe challenge you a little bit when it comes to your faith and your fitness. I know sometimes, if a, if you're a regular participant in the podcast or in my content, you can hear those phrases over and over, and they can become cliche or they can become too familiar. And sometimes they can just drift over you. Like if you're in, church and, you know, you hear somebody like pastor say, "Hey, take out your notebook and take notes." Well, you're just used to hearing that, but you don't really do anything about it. Or, you don't open a note in your phone or whatever. It's just become standard fare. So I'm hoping that you'll allow me to actually talk about your faith and how it's connected to your health. Okay. And how those two are very difficult to separate, though we do a very good job in our Christian culture of separating those two and acting as if there is not a connection. But in my opinion, there's a very strong connection. So I'd like to, first of all, say, um, I love you. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your support. We appreciate you setting the podcast on automatic download, subscribing to our YouTube channel, which would be great, and giving us a follow on social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. Giving us a follow and leaving us some comments, engaging with us. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, even if you don't agree, the only thing that I do ask is that if you don't agree, that's awesome. Just be nice about it, right? Because sometimes we as believers, we can do what everybody else does and we get in the comment section and we're just not paying attention to how what we're saying will come across. Okay. So, communication is a skill, so we need to practice it. But thank you so much for being a part. Thank you for engaging with us. And thank you for allowing me to join you on your faith and your health journey. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to start in Matthew chapter 9. Okay. I actually have my Bible. This is an older Bible. I've had this for some time. Um, I'm reading from the NIV, and I do have notes, so you'll see me looking down every once in a while because I used to when I did pastor and I preached a lot, I would actually memorize my messages. I did pretty well at that. This one is still fresh, so I didn't memorize it. So I'm just hoping you'll bear with me and let the long form content do what it does, which is help us to dig into some points and kind of move around and deal with thoughts as they come up. Okay. So we're looking at Matthew chapter 9. And if we're looking in verse 27, uh, this is the story of Jesus healing the blind and the mute. Okay. So it says, as Jesus went from there, two blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, son of David." When he had gone indoors, the blind men came to him and asked him, wait, when he had gone indoors, the blind men came to him and he asked them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" "Yes, Lord," they replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." Okay. And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." Right. So this is when Jesus was still trying to hide his ministry. Right. But they went out and spread the news about him all over the region. So the big thing, one of the things that stuck out to me. So if you're like me, you'll get like this part of a scripture stuck in your head, and then I'll just start chewing it around and chewing on it. And the part that sticks out to me are those two parts that Jesus said. Do you believe that I'm able to do this? and according to your faith, let it be done unto you. Okay. He didn't even clarify. They didn't even ask what he wanted. They just said, have mercy on us. Just have mercy. So they didn't say, according to this telling, maybe in one of the other gospels, they do tell him. But in Matthew's gospel, he doesn't say, they don't say, hey, we want to see. They don't say that. They just say, have mercy. And he says, do you believe I can do it? So I feel like the it there is kind of an open like a blank check. Obviously, we want to fill that blank with something that is constructive to the kingdom and constructive to our lives. We're not trying to have faith for things that the world has faith for, okay? Or things that would be destructive or not bring God glory. There would be no reason to have faith for those things because he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do something that doesn't bring him glory, I don't think. But so here he's saying, do you have faith that I can do it? Right? The it, you fill in the it. And then he says, according to your faith, let it be done to you. Okay? So the thought here is, if I can fill that blank with something, why can't I fill that with health? Why can't I fill that with mental health? Why can't I fill that with physical health and stamina and longevity? Why can't I fill it with that? Because at the end of the day, I believe that those things will glorify God. So this, according to your faith, let it be done to you. Okay? So let me read a couple of thoughts that I've wrote down too. When Jesus says, according to your faith, let it be done unto you, he was laying it out plain and simple that what you truly believe shapes what you can do or get. This isn't confined to just the spiritual side of things. It's totally relevant to your fitness journey as well. Believing you can hit your health and fitness goals is step one. You have to believe that you can do it. Step two is getting off your behind and making your goals start to happen. Okay. So obviously that's a little straightforward, but the first step in any of these journeys is faith. I have to believe that something is possible. Okay. Now, I truly believe that having faith for something, like let's say for your health, having faith for your health is a great thing to do. But then also, like, believing that you can't do it is having faith that you can't do it. All right. So we need to clarify that a little bit. So thinking you can get healthier and actively working towards it isn't just some feel-good kind of mantra. It's about holding on to the faith that you can change your circumstances and then stepping up to the plate. If we turn in our Bibles over to Hebrews chapter 11, which I think if you've been around the church quite a bit, you know exactly what verse I'm going to read. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Let's go here. Sorry, I did just lick my finger and turn my page. So it's okay, I washed my hands. It says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see yet. Okay? So faith is confidence. Because when I have faith, I am doing my best to be confident that the thing I'm believing for is going to come to pass. The thing I'm filling that it with. When Jesus says, do you believe I can do it? That it, the thing I'm filling in that blank with, by me having faith for it, I am stirring up my own confidence that I can do this thing or that this thing will come to pass. It's not, you're not having faith when you are perpetually doubting or just ho-humming. It doesn't mean while having faith that I'll have no doubts, because doubts just, they come and go. But if they can just come, then they can just go too, right? So we need to be aware of that. So by having faith and confidence, I'm positioning myself to start doing what James says and using my faith well, but confirming my faith through my deeds. Okay. According to James chapter 2, verse 26, it says, for as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead. This can't be more spot on when it comes to your fitness. Wishing to get fit or wishing to be healthy or wishing to lose weight won't get you there. It's about getting active, managing your diet, and sticking to the plan. Your actions are the tangible proof of your faith in your own transformation. So let me just say this. There is faith that I can do this. But I believe that the faith we really need is faith that God will empower me to do this thing. Because at the end of the day, my being here on earth is a miracle in and of itself. Like statistically speaking, there's far greater chances of you never existing than having existed. So let's just be honest there. So the rare gift that you have just being alive is huge. Okay. I mean, incalculable in some sense. And then as a believer, I'm aware that there's a purpose put on my life. As a believer, I'm aware that I am unique and God looks down on me as his son or his daughter and has a plan for me. He put me in a very specific body. I don't get to choose the body. I don't choose my parents. So what I have is what God destined me to have. So my struggles, my strengths, my weaknesses, they're all part of this plan in some sense. So me not stewarding this vessel, in my opinion, is literally just dismissing the uniqueness and power of what God has done by just making you be. And then on top of that, by not stewarding this thing, this body, our health, we are actively holding in contempt the purpose that God has for us, right? Because I am tangibly able to extend my life in some extent, in some sense, and I am tangibly able to shorten it through my decisions, right? I mean, literally doing cardio, like having a pretty good cardiovascular system and output, is as strongly related with health and longevity as smoking is to not health, right? So just by either choosing to like smoke, basically make bad decisions with my health, or make a better decision with my health, I can tangibly move the marker of when I will more than likely pass. I can move that marker back and forth just through my decisions and my daily habits. Right. So by not taking into account, not using my faith and enacting it on my own health and having faith that God has me here for a reason and that there's a purpose for me to being alive and being healthy and having kids, and there's a purpose to this thing. And by me not actively trying to extend it, I believe it is to hold in contempt the gift that God has given you, right? It is to frustrate his grace, as Paul would say, right? I don't want to frustrate the grace of God, but I think many of us frustrate it. We frustrate God's grace through our choices and our lack of ability to take responsibility. Like I'm not being hard. I mean, I have my own hangups. look, I'm meeting with my counselor later today. Look, let's just be real. Okay. So we all have our things, but if you're not on that journey, or if you're not actively trying to put one foot in front of the other, what are you doing? Like, why is God's purpose for your life not important enough for you to take care of yourself? Right. And if it is something that you're having trouble with, can you pray and ask God to give you the faith you need to start moving forward? I believe you can. Right. Like, so there's like the story of, I think it's Jairus in the Bible, where he says, God, I do believe, but help my unbelief. Right. So it's like, I want to believe that I can do this, but help my unbelief. So it's taking this thing to God and not just making it about, well, did I work out today or did I not? I mean, it's not just a physical thing. It's also a spiritual pursuit. Fitness is a spiritual pursuit, in my opinion. It is a gift, and it is a fruit. There's, one of the fruits of the Spirit is self-control. It's, in the sense, discipline. To be a disciple is to be disciplined, right? So it's like there's a lot going on here that I feel like we have just ostracized, or just kind of quarantined off the fitness piece, and we act like it's just not a big deal, and it's kind of like, well, maybe I will do it, maybe I won't. I think when we actively sabotage our health, we are holding in contempt the thing that God has given us. Okay. So, there's another thought here that I wanted to chew on. Improving your health is rarely easy. You'll face days with zero motivation and hurdles that seem insurmountable. This is where true faith kicks in. If you believe you can overcome these challenges and get healthier, that belief is what will drive you to actually keep moving forward. Without that belief, it's too easy to do nothing and stay stuck. And I would say this: the person who has faith that God can help them get their health in order is enacting the confidence and the assurance that that thing will come to pass, right? And then they back up that assurance and that confidence, according to James, with their deeds. So they have faith and then they do the works. They have faith and then they do the deeds that help that faith come to pass, right? But I also believe that when you say you can't do it, that is faith and assurance that you can't. And then the deeds that help back that up are you sitting on the couch and binge watching whatever, TV show you want to watch, Hell's Kitchen, whatever, Iron Chef. Those are your deeds actively reinforcing your faith that you cannot do it, and the faith that either you're not valuable enough to put in the effort, or that you are just so weak you can't do it. The crazy thing is that the can you do it part in that question that Jesus asked was, do you believe he can do it? Not necessarily whether you can do it, because that blind dude couldn't do it. So the question is, do you believe, number one, that you are valuable enough to invest in your health? And number two, do you believe that Jesus can empower you to do what needs to be done? And then, according to your faith, let it be done unto you. Okay? Do you believe it? Do you have faith that his will is for you to thrive? If so, get busy working on thriving. If your faith is that you're meant to have diabetes, which many of us do through our actions, we we prove our faith through our action, right? Some of us are living in certain ways. I don't have to ask whether you believe you can be healthy, because I just watch the way you live, and I can tell where your faith is. Your faith is that either you don't deserve it, or it's not worth it, or that you can't do it. So let me encourage you. Number one, you are unique. God created you for a great purpose. Number two, you have a part to play in this life. Health is not just something that you have or don't have. Number three, if you will put your faith in Jesus to begin moving forward in your health. And then actively, according to James, taking steps to confirm that faith with your deeds. That could be simple things like going for a walk or going to bed on time or, cutting out some junk food. There are a lot of ways to start. Doesn't have to be radical faith right now. But right now, I just want to encourage you that it's faith. You need to have faith that this can happen. If you immediately say, well, I can't, that's your faith that you can't. So you're having faith one way or the other, okay? So let me encourage you. You are worth the pain of getting in shape. You are worth the time investment it takes, because not having time is demonstrably irrational. Time is almost always, a matter of priority. Okay? And then to say you don't have time to exercise, but you do have time to scroll on Instagram is irrational. Okay? Because according to I think there's a UK study group that actually tried to measure, for every hour you invest in your health, like in fitness, how many hours do you get back? And I think it was for every hour you invest, you get roughly 3 hours back. So you are actually gaining more time from the time you put in. Okay, so number one, not having time is almost always a matter of priority, and you are in control of your priorities. Number two, to say you don't have time to exercise is irrational, because it's the only thing that you're going to invest in that's going to actually give you back more time. So that's just you literally just deciding to make poor investments, right? So it's like, I would rather spend that hour, rather than get 3 hours back that I can tack on to the end of my life, I would rather spend that doing this other thing that gives me nothing back. It only takes. Okay. So that, to me, in my opinion, that's irrational. And it just shows that people have either a lack of understanding of what fitness is, or they have a lack of seeing value in themselves, and understanding that you should want to be here, right? Life is good, because the chances of not being here are so great that if you won this genetic lottery and you were born, then by God, make the most of your life, okay? Not all of it's going to be great and easy, but the fact that you have it is incredible. So make the most of it. All right. So, last thing, if you believe your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, according to 1 Corinthians 6:19, keep it in shape is a form of respect and honor. This goes beyond mere vanity. It is about caring for yourself in a way that reflects your faith. Okay. To wrap it up, merging faith with action in your health and fitness journey is a key. Believe in your capacity for improvement. Believe in God's desire for your capacity and flourishing to improve, right? John 10:10, Jesus came that you may have life and have it to the full. Why would we actively poke holes in a bucket that God's trying to fill? Okay. In my opinion, we should be putting handles on that bucket and trying to solder a new bucket next to it so I can catch the overflow. Okay. So it's all about taking active steps that resonate with your faith, aiming for a healthy version of yourself, and hopefully demonstrating that God's gift to you is worth the time and investment. Okay. So let me just say, if you have faith, put your faith in moving forward. Don't put your faith in moving backwards or in the things that you can't do. God wants you to move forward. He loves you. He has a great plan for your life. And I guarantee that if you start taking steps, just like these two blind guys, literally, they did not specify what they wanted. They just went and stood before him and then let him ask the questions. So maybe you just need to get before him and bring whatever this situation is, bring it to him, and then let him start talking to you. Okay? But have faith. According to James, faith without works is dead. So if you do have faith that God can do this for you and get you healthy and you want to flourish, you have to start moving. All right? So we love you. God bless you. Leave us some comments, like, share, follow, do all the things. We'd appreciate you. We really believe that God has a great plan for your life, and we want to see the most come out of it. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Hey there, guys. I want to take a quick second to highlight a partner that we've been working with lately, Upgraded Formulas. You can see them at upgradedformulas.com. I have personally been taking their Upgraded T formula to support natural testosterone production. I've noticed it after a few months. I've noticed I've had a bit more mental clarity. My rest is a little better, and I'm recovering a bit better from my workouts, which was actually surprising. So I'm able to exercise just a bit more. I love to exercise, so that's a bonus for me. Women can also take this because healthy testosterone levels in women help with fat loss, mental clarity, muscle gain, things like that. And also, the estrogen and testosterone go together hand in hand. If you support one, the other does pretty well as well. So definitely check them out. Also, they do something really great. I want to highlight a hair mineral analysis where you send them a little chunk of your hair, and they will let you know if you're deficient in anything or if you have too much of something like heavy metals in your system. So what this does is this is a great thing to help give you data on your health so that you can make decisions. None of this is a miracle cure. All of it is just information to help you make better decisions around your health and supplementation. All right, so really check them out. They're doing some really great quality. They're seeing some huge results, and I believe they're going to have some clinical studies coming out pretty soon. So check them out, upgradedformulas.com. Use the code ADAM10 to get a 10% discount today.